Hello and welcome to the Sierra Podcast. I am your host, Sierra. This podcast is to help your journey with Christ while you reach, inspire, serve, and endure. This is part 2 of Obedience and Disobedience, where I finished the last episode about the car accident I was in. I was being disobedient to the voice of God when I heard him telling me to leave a salon that I was doing esthetician work in. And he was telling me to go ahead and step out into entrepreneurship, but I thought it was my pride that was talking to me. And after several signs that it was from him, I still chose to ignore, still chose to be disobedient. And all of that led up to me having 2 car crashes in 1 year. And it also led me to be obedient and to do what he asked me to do. To continue where I left off on the last episode, after I left the wreck, when I arrived home, I prayed and I was giving thanks to God because the situation could have been way worse. And I could have lost the car that he had just gave me. I don't know what would be worse than a car wreck, and I'm not trying to mess around and find out either. I called my mom, told her what happened, and her husband had said that his barber talked to him and he was saying that he had a suite available. And I was like, wow, okay. And he was like, yeah, you should pretty much reach out to him or meet up with him and see if you can get the suite. And this was 2 days after that incident, 2 or 3 days. I don't know. It was like I said in the first episode, these things were going back to back. So the time, everything was happening so fast, I couldn't really keep up. I sent a message to his barber and he asked me to meet him at the suite or whatever. And he broke down what I would be doing, how I would be doing it, and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I end up getting the suite. I signed a contract with him. He told me if it doesn't work out, that he'll allow me to break the contract and things like that. He was pretty cool. He was pretty down to earth about the whole process. And he was just giving me some truths too about going into entrepreneurship and having a suite and things like that. So I got the suite. And that door opened right when I closed that door. And this was God showing me, okay, now that you are being obedient, I can show you what I'm capable of. And he showed me, not just for this season of my life, but even the seasons down the road. This is just an example that you can look back on when you hit some sort of hardship or struggle, that you should know that I helped you before, I'll do it again. This is what this reminder was. This was what was it? What is it called? It's like him putting a pen here, marking it. It's a marker right here. So I got the suite, and the first thing I did was text the tow guy who told me to get a suite, to branch out on my own. And I told him, and he said, congratulations or whatever. And he told me that he was going to book an appointment, and he did. He was my first client in the suite. Not only was he my first client in the suite, but he was my only client in the suite. Okay? And I had a talk with God, like, why did I get the suite if client's not even coming into the suite? I was doing facials on people at their house, but in the suite, no, it was empty. I ended up giving the facial to the guy who inspired me to get the suite in the first place. I did his facial and it was nice. I had got business cards and stuff made around the time that I had first got the keys and stuff to the suite. I got business cards made. I had ordered a lot of equipment that I needed to run the esthetician business and got things that I needed for the suite, like furniture and stuff. But everything was just moving so slowly, and I just wanted everything so fast. But I had to remember that, Sierra, this is you doing all of this without a backup of income. But again, I'm trusting God, so things slowly but surely was starting to get into place. But at the same time, I knew I was really good at cleaning. And so I added housekeeping and Airbnb cleaning and things like that to my services on my booking out. And for a few months, I didn't mention this at first, but I also was cleaning Airbnbs. And that began, I partnered with these people as a 1099 contractor. And so that started at the end of December and it ended in March because I ended up spraining my ankle or whatever. But so I was cleaning in the meantime. I was cleaning Airbnbs and stuff. And then I did that for, that little while at the same time. And that's how I was able to pay for my suite and stuff like that. I also was recommended by my dad, who's a contractor. He was recommending his clients to me for housekeeping. And so sometimes after he had just got done building on their homes, he would have them reach out to me to come clean up. And then those became regular clients, and that's how I built that. But the esthetician part was still a job. And the only thing that's in my life that's, showing fruit right now is the housekeeping part. That's it. What's up with the esthetician part? I was reminded that it's not even about God not allowing clients to come in for the esthetician part. Like a lot of people reach out, hey, I know you're an esthetician, you do facials, blah, blah, blah. When can I book? Do you have any openings? Blah, blah, blah. I was sending them stuff. Still didn't hear anything. But again, I'm not upset about it. I was around the time that it happened because it was happening a lot. I had more people hitting me up asking me about me as an esthetician than I had them booking appointments. Eventually, I had to turn in my keys because it was just sitting there. I wasn't paying. I couldn't pay. And then when I was paying for an empty room. And so I ended my contract with the guy who gave me the opportunity. But nevertheless, that was an incredible opportunity, and he is an incredible man. Now, I have not been actively pursuing being an esthetician. I am going to keep my license up to date. I am going to do things when people hit me up for maybe a facial at home, or maybe if they want their lashes or brows done and things like that. Cool. But me being an esthetician is not my dream. I was just completing something that began in 2020. I cannot be upset with God about clients not coming in because my heart wasn't 100% there. I feel like that opportunity was just God showing what he's capable of. If I have faith and I step out and I do what is in my heart to do and what he's leading me to do, the doors will open once I am being obedient. I feel like the whole thing was a test of faith, and it was also a learning season. That's what that was for. Now, I do have things coming in the future soon, and it's still tied to skincare and things like that. And so that will be available soon under the same name as well. I'm not changing my business name. I'm keeping my name and stuff like that. It's just things are going to change. It's not that I'm not going to be an active esthetician. I am going to be active. It's just I'm not going to be doing it out of a suite or anything anymore. 2 car crashes in the same year was a result of my disobedience. And as a result of my obedience, a few doors came open. And yeah, I want to move forward with Bible verses that speak about obedience and disobedience. Some you may be familiar with, but I want to go ahead and read those because they are equally important to the situation that I have experienced, and I'm going through this for you all. Like, I know a lot of you have already went through obedient and disobedient situations in your life, but let me be the test dummy or whatever for it. If I can help you all like stop in your tracks before making a bad decision or a bad life decision or just bad choices. And as humans, we're going to make bad choices, okay? But if you can like get away from that, I would definitely like to be the one that you learn from. So I'm going to be reading from 4 Bible verses today. The first Bible verse I'm going to read is from 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. So Samuel said, "Has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of rams." So in this verse, Samuel is letting it be known that obedience is better than sacrifice. King Saul was being disobedient to God's instruction of utterly destroying, I don't know how to say their names, the Amaleks. Excuse me, I don't know how to say their name. I'm not about to be trying to pronounce it either. Just know it's a group of people that God instructed King Saul to utterly destroy, and King Saul decided not to fully destroy. He destroyed some, but not all. And so as a result, he was replaced by King David. So just like in my situation, while I was being disobedient, there were things there were situations that I put myself in as a result of my disobedience. The second Bible verse that I want to read is 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 14. As obedient children, not conforming yourselves to the former lust as in your arrogance. That is what 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 14 talks about, us not going back to our old lusts, our old desires, because we were ignorant when we did those things. So it's telling us to learn from it, and we don't conform ourselves to our former lusts. We just move forward, and we take what happened to us at first. We take that as an example. You remember what happened this time you didn't obey the Lord, and just go from there. The third Bible verse that I want to read is Isaiah chapter 1, verses 19. If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. So being obedient, it will lead to good things. The last Bible verse that I'm going to read is from Luke chapter 6, verses 46. And this is Jesus speaking. But why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do the things which I say? And obedience is following the commandments. Whatever sin that God calls sin, getting delivered from those sins, turning away from those sins, repenting, never doing those sins again. And if you fall short, praying, repenting, asking God to forgive you. And that gets old, having to repent over and over and over for the same sin that you keep committing. And that's easier said than done, because it is way easier to sin than not to sin, because we are born of sin. So our fleshly desires, our natural state is to sin. And that is why we have to be equipped with the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. That's why we have to lead from our spirit man, not from our flesh. That's going to wrap up this episode of Obedience and Disobedience, part 2. I wish the outcome of some of those things had a different outcome, but life is what it is. Like, you live and you learn, you just keep going. But nevertheless, God is there, and He's going to guide us. Together, He's going to guide us. And I know I said before, for my YouTube watchers, you won't see a video of me, but there will be a video up with the actual podcast. But I do plan on making videos again with me in it, like podcast videos again with me in it in the future. Maybe before the year is over. I'm just trying to catch up. You guys be patient with me. Help me. I'm trying to just get back up to part. And so anyway, I hope that this video helped you today in any kind of way. And I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.